Good evening. Today we're not discussing a game. We're examining a mirror, a dark, unsettling reflection of our own societies and systems. The 8th episode of Squid Game, Front Man, is a meticulously crafted study of power, corruption, and the human cost of both. This isn't just entertainment. It's a visceral commentary. We must ask, what are the root causes? How does this structure operate? What are the long-term consequences? To understand this episode, we need to analyze 7 key components. Front Man doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's a product of a system built on exploitation. Historically, we see recurring cycles where the powerful use the vulnerable for their own gain. It speaks to real issues of class disparity, wealth inequality, and the commodification of human life, and is a clear warning of what can happen when the systems of power are left unchecked. The Squid Game is not merely a fictional game, but an extreme extension of existing global power structures. The power structure itself creates an environment of desperation and also ensures that those who are at the bottom have no agency. The cycles of violence that are present in the game are a clear reflection of the ways that similar systems operate in the real world. In a culture obsessed with entertainment and spectacle, it makes sense that such a game would exist, and that it would be structured to amplify the worst aspects of human nature. The central conflict within Front Man is the internal struggle between personal morality and the demands of a corrupt system. The key reveal, that jun-ho is the Front Man, highlights the system's ability to transform individuals, to strip away their humanity, and to co-opt them into perpetuating the very system that had once victimized them. The logic of the games is not designed to be fair or even logical, but maintain power and control. It presents the games as a study in manipulation. The rules, regulations, and the processes themselves seem designed to force the players to compete with each other, and not against the underlying system. This process, therefore, results in not only the dehumanization of the players, but also of the staff that help to maintain the system itself. This creates a situation where there are no good guys, and everyone is either a victim, or a perpetrator, or both. The social impact of Front Man, like the series as a whole, is far-reaching, resonating with anyone who feels trapped by systems beyond their control. It speaks directly to those who have been left behind by economic and social injustices. But it also highlights that it is not only the desperate who are victims, but also those who are within the machine of these types of games. Those who are players in the games may be the most affected, but the entire system is designed to maintain oppression and to continue a cycle of violence and despair. The show forces us to confront the ways we are all connected to systems that seek to benefit a select few while exploiting the rest. It forces us to ask, what is our own role in maintaining a system that encourages such cruelty? Front Man is a chilling study in the abuse of power and the avoidance of accountability. The Front Man's transformation demonstrates the corrosive effects of power and how easily even the well-intentioned can become tools of oppression. He is not an individual actor, but an instrument of the system. The VIPs, with their anonymous masks and casual bets, represent the ultimate form of detachment, and those who are at the very top. Jun-ho's quest to find his brother highlights the fact that such systems have very real-world consequences, and that they often touch the lives of people who have nothing to do with those who control it. The episode highlights that power without accountability breeds corruption, and that those who are in control are often the least responsible. The ethical and moral wasteland at the core of the Squid Game is exposed in Front Man through its focus on how a system can corrupt the morality of anyone involved. The game not only disregards human life, but it actively destroys it. It demonstrates the ways in which the moral compass of individuals can be undermined by fear and greed. The rules themselves are inherently unfair and seek to punish players for attempting to subvert them. The system prioritizes its own survival over morality, and as such, undermines the best intentions of its participants. The show asks if it is ever possible to survive with your moral values intact within such a system. Front Man underscores a dire warning about the cyclical nature of violence and the power of systemic oppression. The episode forces us to recognize that the status quo is not only unjust, but that it will also perpetuate itself. It also reveals that simply winning the game is not sufficient to be free from the game itself, as it will continue to corrupt you and undermine your humanity. True change requires a fundamental shift in our values and a dismantling of systems that perpetuate inequality. We must strive to create societies based on compassion, justice, and true equality. Regulations are needed, but more than anything, there is a need for a real shift in our underlying social values and how we see ourselves and our relationship to the systems of power in the real world. Despite the overwhelming darkness, Front Man offers small glimmers of hope through the continued resilience of Ji-hun's moral compass and Ethebayak's quiet determination. Their continued resistance to the system highlights the ways that there are those who will always try to hold on to their humanity. The series highlights the capacity for human connection and the need to be able to see the other side of our own experiences. It also shows that even in the bleakest of circumstances, small acts of kindness and defiance still matter. These are not moments of victory, but they are moments of refusal to give up completely, and a reminder that not all of human nature is evil, and that there are real reasons to continue to strive for a better world. Front Man isn't just about a game, it's about our world. It challenges us to examine our own systems, the narratives that we accept, and the ways in which power operates. The show asks us to confront those uncomfortable truths and to take real action against those systems that seek to perpetuate the cycle of exploitation and oppression. We must not only be aware of the system, but also be willing to be critical of it, so that we can prevent a reality like Squid Game from taking hold in our own world.